Hi there. I figured I would jump on. Today is an historic day and probably as good a day as any, if not a better day than many, to record this introduction, this first Substack post. My name is Jennifer Elizabeth Moore. I am an author, I'm a healer, I'm an artist, and been on the planet for a little over 6 decades at this point. And today is July 3rd, 2025. It is a momentous day. It's an historic day. It is probably a very significant, very pivotal day that will be remembered in history for a very long time. This is the day when the big, beautiful bill passed in the House. And what it means is that we are going to be experiencing the largest deficit we've ever had in this country. We're talking trillions of dollars, and somewhere between 12 to 16 million Americans are going to be without health care as a result of this. Nursing homes are going to be shutting down, hospitals are going to be shutting down, it's very likely. And also, ICE detention centers are going to be cropping up like mushrooms in various and sundry places because now there is a budget for ICE that is larger than what the Marines are getting. So many of us, I think, are feeling deeply tender, are feeling incredibly sad, shocked, scared, angry, disappointed. It certainly does not feel like the America that I believed in as a child. It doesn't feel like the America that my very liberal, both in human services, very politically active parents encouraged me to believe in. And I know that there are people who are like, yep, welcome to our world. I was really hoping that instead of it being for people, minorities, and people who have been betrayed by this country for a long time, that they would be welcome to our world, that I could be saying welcome to our world, that equality and justice and kindness and inclusivity for everybody was where we were heading. But it seems that we've got a ways to go. So much of this just doesn't make any sense to me. I've been on a spiritual path my entire life, and I also have been in a state of confusion and conflict and dissonance around this spiritual path for my entire life because I was raised in an atheist family who pretty much told me that I was too sensitive, that I was overreacting, that I was taking things too personally, that I was making shit up, and that all of this woo-woo stuff, this life after death, psychic ability, all of this was just kind of like the product of an overactive imagination, and religion is the opiate of the masses. And so I have been a seeker, and I have craved the connection, but I have also had to contest with and contend with an incredible amount of doubt. But despite this, I started having prophetic dreams when I was 9 years old. I started reading tarot cards when I was 18, 19. And I started like seeking and connecting and finding my way through at a very early age. And one of the things that has come of that is a conversation with the sometimes not so still and not so small voice within me, and that feels like it is without me, that first started as what I called the great ones of the tarot when I first started reading tarot. And as time went on, they just started calling themselves we. And over time, they came to be known as the Council of We for me. And so the Council of We are my spirit guides. They're my teachers. They are the ones who keep saying, breathe, 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 breathe. You are moving through a transformation. You are moving through a time. And so I wrote a book. I wrote my second book, Empathic Evolution. And it's a book that is an answer to my questions. It's a book that tries to make sense of all the dissonance in the world. One of the things that I found incredibly confusing, and I have always found just as never quite rung true for me, is what I witness as spiritual bypassing within a lot of the spiritual communities, sort of the New Age world. There's a lot of like law of attraction, whatever you focus your attention on is what you're going to create. And so when there is injustice, when there is pain, when there is suffering, when other people are really getting just pulled through the ringer, some of the answers are sort of like just, focus on the positive, focus on what you desire, think about, like it's okay to be selfish. And I'm not sure that when you're witnessing the potential rise of fascism, some people say we're already here, that just focusing on the spiritual platitudes and the, like abundance and prosperity and the white light and all that stuff is necessarily the answer. So I wrote this book to try to make sense of why is there so much suffering in the world? Why, if we are so magnificent, why, if we are children of the divine, why do we just have to keep on doing all of this dumb, dumb stuff? And I personally still don't necessarily have the answers to this, but what's interesting is that the council definitely gave me some answers. And very simply put, some of the answers, it kind of comes down to this. The answers are, you've been in this for a really long time. You've been getting yourself into this fine mess for thousands and thousands of years. It's going to take a little while to get out of it. Change is incremental. Change happens over time. And as a result, it's not, you didn't get this way overnight. You're not going to necessarily fix it all overnight either. And the most important things that we can do is, one, deal with our ancestral and karmic and personal trauma so that we are not activated and triggered and reacting all the time. And we can see with clarity, we can see and understand what's going on in the world with open eyes and with the ability to hold space, breathe through the really painful, really uncomfortable things that we witness. Like, for example, cages in the Everglades that are designed for human beings. That ability to breathe through, because we've dealt with our trauma, we've dealt with all of the stuff that keeps us scared, that keeps us either in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So dealing with and regulating our nervous systems is one of the most important things that we can do. And breathing through the journey, breathing through the process, holding space. And even though it may feel completely insane, trusting that we are on a path of evolution and that we are in the awkward in-between stage right now. We are in the messy middle. So one of the things I've been doing with this book is that I've been opening it to passages, and I've been just looking to see what kind of wisdom the council has by doing a little bit of bibliomancy. And so I'm just going to take a moment, and I invite you to join me and breathe. Let's just breathe for a second. Let's just breathe in. Breathe into our hearts, our connected, universal, sacred heart of love that we are all part of. Just breathing into the love in our heart. And exhaling any static, any worry, any tension, any concerns. And again, breathing in and breathing out. And one more time. And let's see what the council has to say to us. So this is on page 166. It is from the chapter 6, the mind, wisdom that correlates with the third eye. As you awaken to your empathic abilities, when it is within your power to do something about a problem, then do something about it. Do not simply throw up your hands, declare that you are helpless, and say, well, they chose that. We are not saying that you, as an individual human being with limited agency, have the capacity to completely change everything. We are saying, within your agency and heart's calling, do what you can. Find organizations that are making a difference for the things that matter to you. Choose passion projects that mean something to you. Tune into where you, a highly sensitive, empathic person, are sensing the pain and ask us, Divine Source, how or if you can help. It may mean that you choose to meditate and radiate peace. You might save 50 cents a week and every few months donate a few dollars to an organization you value, or volunteer to foster a cat and her litter of kittens. Perhaps you can join your community theater. If so inclined, you might write letters to the editor or your elected officials, become involved in a political campaign, or run for office. It may mean that you spend time in nature and plant beautiful flowers for your neighbors to enjoy. You may feel compelled to become a doctor and to go to another country or to a region in your own country that needs support. It will look different for every one of you. So I think the thing that I take from this message, and it's just, I'm blown away. The thing is so interesting is because this is a channeled book, I have read it numerous times. I just finished reviewing the entire audiobook to sign off on it for my audiobook producing people, because it's going to be coming out later this summer. It's being distributed by Blackstone Audio, which I am so excited about. But what I find is that because I channeled this, and there's a kind of trancey state that I get into when I'm channeling things, not like some of the people who are full trance channels, but I often don't remember a lot of the things that are said when they're speaking through me. And so every single time I read this, I'm like, oh my God, that this is so relevant. And I have to say that I started working on the book back in 2022. It is more relevant now than it was then. It's more relevant now than when I first published the paperback or the hard copy in November, right after the presidential election. It's more relevant than even when I was recording the audiobook. It kind of blows my mind how exactly precise this is to the time we are in right now. And what I really hear this saying is, your mileage may vary. The way you deal with things is going to be individual. The actions you take are going to be individual. And it's time to take action. And now is the time to do what you can. Now is the time to claim your agency. Now is the time to choose how are you going to be part of the solution in this world. So for right now, my work is helping other people to regulate and calm their nervous systems, to do the last bits of things that I need to do to get this audiobook out into the world, and to just be as a calm, regulated presence as much as I possibly can in a world that is absolutely going through it right now. We cannot possibly know what is going to come of this. There are so many people who are fear-mongering right now. There are so many people who are making declarative statements about things that have not yet come to pass and telling us just how doomed and damned we are. And yet the truth is, a lot can change in a day, a lot can change in a week, a lot can change in a month, a ton can change in a year. And there's a lot that is still open to shift, change, interpretation. And as the saying goes, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. So I think I'm just going to pause right here, since this is a first post on Substack. I'd love it if you would subscribe. At this point in time, I haven't set up paid tiers and all of those kinds of things. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that. I have mixed feelings about charging to put this information, especially the work that the council wants to be put out into the world. I'm not sure exactly what is going to make sense. So, if you found what I had to say useful, helpful, please subscribe and join me in this journey where we work on clearing our stuff, addressing the trauma that has been plaguing us for thousands and thousands of years, soothing and calming and regulating our nervous system, and taking it all one tiny little baby step at a time, one moment, 1 second at a time. And thanks so much for being here and joining me. Peace.